Welcome back to In Session. All right, well, Patrick Warren Sr., you're seeing the evidence pile up against him. But in many ways, the evidence shows a couple different pictures. First, you see the bullets, the fragments, everything all over the room, the blood, and you think, well, was this premeditated? On the other hand, count on the defense to use that to say, you see the bullets, the fragments, the blood all over the room. It wasn't premeditated. In fact, it was chaotic. So we've got an interesting case shaping up. Premeditation or heat of passion? In Session law enforcement analyst and contributor Mike Brooks with us, also criminal defense attorney and former public defender Regina Tsombanakis. I'm saying that wrong and I apologize. Tsombanakis, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
You got it.
Thank you, Regina. Now, you know what, Mike, let me start with you, and I just want to quickly touch on this gun evidence that we've been seeing today, the different gun bullets all over the place, the fragments all over the place. You see, the defense could say, well, there it is. He came in. He went crazy. He's crazy all over the place. That's why it's heat of passion. Don't you see it right there on the photographs?
When did he buy the gun? He bought when did he buy the gun? He bought the gun just a short time before the shooting. And, you know, and the statement that he made to the Fays, you know, we saw them on the stand. And that's not good evidence for him if he kept talking about he would just go down there and kill him. And then, you know, the shooting that day, when he got into the physical confrontation in front of the house, after he fired the first round, he got into physical confrontation with his own son, and his son got shot, and he shot himself when the round went off. If that was heat of passion, wouldn't it have, okay, I just got to calm down and maybe stop right there? But no, he pushed him out of the way. He kept on going. Some people can say that's heat of passion. I say it's premeditation.
You know, it makes it a tough case. And, you know, Regina, one interesting thing about this case, they offered 2 plea deals to Patrick Warren. He turned them down. And that made me think maybe the government doesn't have such a strong case in terms of premeditation. But what do you think in terms of heat of passion of what you're seeing right now?
I completely disagree with what was said before. I think that if you look at this case, you see that Mr. Warren not only has to deal with his wife leaving him, but he is dealing with his wife living with this man across the street, humiliating him daily, and this builds and builds and builds every single day. Not to mention this bizarre mystery daughter. Any of this is very, very strange. He's having to deal with this and cope with this on a daily basis. This builds up. Heat of passion legally is a very short period of time. However, realistically, when you have that type of thing going on, your wife, of many years, you have children with, is across the street with some man in a trailer that you've paid for, you become more and more and more incensed. And I think that the fact that his son came out there, told him that he was basically kicked out so they can have adult time, started what was this rampage. This is unplanned. Absolutely no thought to hiding what was going on. He was gripped in rage from everything that was building up to that moment, and he completely exploded. Plus, the gun, he indicated, was bought for target practice with his son a while ago, so it was not bought specifically for that purpose.
Okay.
If he was going to plan something, it'd be a lot better planned.
Fair enough, but
then
let me show you
this. Why did he keep the magazine loaded if it was just for target practice?
You know, that's an interesting point.
And he had it topped off, too.
I'll tell you what.
How do you know they didn't go for target practice? I mean, that's not out there.
He went target practice on his wife and,
all right,
and the other victim.
Let me jump in. Let me show you one piece of testimony here that we also got to talk about in the context of the same thing. The threats that the children say and that the neighbors talk about in this case. Take a look.
Another comment he would make regularly was I ought to go down there and beat his ass. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Now, did you take that seriously, ever?
No, sir. Not really, no.
And was that based upon?
Well, usually myself, because there wasn't a day go by that I didn't threaten my husband to knock him in the head or punch him in the mouth, but I never did it.
Right.
That sets up a different construct than what I was thinking, because I was going to ask you, Regina, hey, people were talking about threats. She seems to kind of minimize the threats there, but the kids came out and they said, yeah, he threatened Jonathan before. He used to abuse my mom. Couldn't that lend itself to the premeditation?
Well, if she was that abused, why would she move across the street with the new boyfriend? That does not show a person that is so in fear of her husband that she moves across the street. That's why there's shelters for abused women to leave, because they don't want to be anywhere near these people. She's right across the street. Hardly seems like she's that abused to the point where she's scared of him. She's not scared of him.
What did we
she's
just talk about?
She's whatever's going on.
A lot of time, though, we just talked about this with Christy. A lot of times, people who are abused, they don't have anywhere else to go. Did she have the money to go somewhere else? Did she even know that she had any resources of a women's shelter? Does she even know? Does she even think about that?
She could have found out if she was so abused.
I'll tell you what,
she could have found out. She waits until a 19-year-old guy shows up and moves in with him.
All right,
all right.
Serious. You know what? Unfortunately, I got to cut the discussion off there. Regina, Mike, thank you so much. It's because we're out of time, but a lively discussion indeed. You know, we're going to be back tomorrow. More testimony in this trial. One of Warren's defense attorneys is going to join us live.